Hi again, it's been a little bit, but I'm done with uni exam season now, and today I thought I'd show you my entire productive setup, kind of. Even though I'm not the most productive person myself, this setup helps me be as productive as possible on any given day. Let's start off with the desk. The desk is an L-shaped convertible desk that I bought off eBay 3 years ago now. I'm old. Anyway, you can still buy this exact same desk for around £130 now, but I wouldn't exactly recommend it. It's got plenty of storage underneath it, and right now I've got it set up in a flat configuration just against a wall in my room because I like having the extra space, but you can obviously put it in the corner of your room as an L shape. Here's what it looks like in the L configuration. Underneath it, I keep some books, some random boxes, and some things that I use often enough to where I need them close by, but I don't want to have them on top of my desk. The reason I wouldn't recommend this desk is because even though it's generally pretty well made, you can get a desk from IKEA that if you buy the parts yourself will be better, and it will probably also be cheaper. Moving on to the PC, this is a PC I built myself last August after running an old Dell XPS 13. That thing only had a 128GB hard drive, by the way, so I was out of storage more often than not, and I actually had a hard drive mounted to the back of it, like an external 2TB one. Oh, I'm so glad I moved on. But now I've got a Ryzen 7 2700X that's got 8 cores and 16 threads, which if you don't speak nerd, basically means it's more than good enough for anything I want to do. It's got a GTX 1650 Super from MSI, I believe it's the Ventus XS model, not the overclocked one. 16GB of 3200 MHz RAM at CL16, terabyte SSD storage, and then 4TB of hard drive storage, all put together with an Asus B450M-K motherboard, powered by a 500W 80+ bronze power supply. Oh, and it also has a Wi-Fi/Bluetooth wireless card. It's not the highest spec wise, and I could have probably got a better GPU, but for my video rendering needs and my budget, more importantly, this is the best I could have done at the time. Peripherals wise, I use a 75% keyboard, namely the DREVO 84-key Gramr. It's a 75% keyboard with Otemu brand switches that I have put O-rings on. Hear me out. After using a membrane keyboard for years and years, I kinda like the feeling of rubber domes, and I like having a mechanical keyboard, but to replicate that rubbery feel, I need the O-rings and brand switches. Don't judge me. Mouse wise, this is just an old HP office mouse that works via USB. I've thought about upgrading it a lot, but right now I just don't think it makes sense to upgrade it, and then that's on like this Penguin mouse pad that I've had for as long as I can remember. I used to use it on an old all-in-one PC I had back in the day, and it just works, so just relax. This is more of a software thing, but I also use this app on my phone called Remote Desktop that lets me use my phone as a mouse and keyboard wirelessly when I'm like laying in bed watching The Promised Neverland, for example, and I want to click the next episode button, but I don't want to get out of bed to actually use my mouse. It works wirelessly as a trackpad pretty much, and it's great. I highly recommend it. For my main monitor, I use this Dell monitor for 2014. It's got a resolution of 1280 by 1024. It's a 5:4 aspect ratio, but it was free, so I saved money there as well. But the thing with having a monitor with this aspect ratio, watching shows such as the 2003 version of Full Metal Alchemist or emulating PS2 games fits better full screened on this aspect ratio as opposed to a 16:9 1080p monitor. Specs wise, it's 75Hz refresh rate and it's an IPS panel. I don't know the exact response type, but I've never ever noticed any input delay at all. And then I connect it to my PC using DisplayPort. And for my secondary monitor, I used the old living room TV that my parents put in my room when I went away to uni for my first year, and it was just on my table the whole time. So when I got a PC, I used an HDMI cable to use it as my second display. It's nice having a massive display as my second monitor. I use it to play games and watch movies mostly. It's also got some pretty good built-in speakers because it is a TV. The TV is actually full 1080p, but it does look a bit pixelated sometimes, and the input lag is very, very noticeable because it's a TV. If you watched this far, you might as well subscribe. I'm trying to get 100k before the end of 2021, so if you do that, that'd be pretty great. Thanks. Now moving on to my audio setup. For my mic, I use a Behringer XM8500 connected to my PC using an XLR to USB cable. Because it's a dynamic mic that doesn't require phantom power. I know there will be losses in quality because I'm using an XLR USB cable instead of an audio interface, but in the future I might upgrade to an audio interface if I get, say, a more expensive mic. And then I use this cheap £15 boom arm from Amazon And then I also use this orange and black windsock / pop filter thing. They actually came in a pack of 20 that I can use any color I want to switch up the mic color for any recordings or stuff. And then, as you can probably see, I've cable managed it with this little shield thing, which is actually part of a old cable tidy kit I found in my house, and I've been using that to cable manage the majority of my setup. I don't cable manage the back of my PC because you really can't see it unless you go looking for it. I only cable manage the wires going into my boom arm and also the wires leaving my monitor because those are the ones people can actually see. Also, on top of my boom arm, there is a ring light, which is very convenient for any recording or streaming that I do. Let's talk about headphones. I have two main daily drivers. Firstly, these big Akai classic headphones. I've owned them for 4 years now, and I've had zero issues throughout the 4 years. They use a standard 3.5mm to 3.5mm cable, and they're pretty sturdy, which I like because I used to travel a lot before, you know, the bad happened. And they've got a metal exterior, and yeah, overall I think they're pretty great. And they're pretty cheap as well. I've seen them go as low as 15 or 10 pounds nowadays. Secondly, I use these Sony Sport in-ear headphones for when I'm just walking around, moving around, cycling, running, whatever. Basically when I don't want a massive headset on and I just want to be moving around. Thirdly, this Mpow Bluetooth receiver turns these two or any of my other wired headsets into a wireless Bluetooth option, which is amazing. I'll link a review I did of them in the description, but basically it allows me to use any wired headphones as wireless headphones via Bluetooth without any noticeable audio quality degradation. On the other side of my desk, there's usually some sort of notebook. Right now, there's just the notebook I use for my uni work and just generally writing things down. And then for pens, I buy these Uniball pens by the dozen because I just really like them and I don't want to run out. Whenever I'm close to running out, I just buy a whole new box so I know I'll be good for however long until they run out. Lastly, the camera setup I use for all my recordings, streaming, and also as my webcam. It's a bit overkill for Zoom calls and Microsoft Teams, but it's my webcam now. I use a Nikon D3100 with the 18 to 55mm stock lens. If you care about camera settings, I'll put them up on screen right now. I don't have a dummy battery, but I have this USB charger hub that has two batteries that are fully charged pretty much at all times. These two batteries are fully charged whenever I need, so whenever I need to record something or jump on a call with my video turned on, I can just plug one in and it will work fine. And then my secondary camera is actually this little thing, my Samsung Galaxy S8, which I used to record all my videos on. It was my main camera for months and months. I used to use this thing clamped onto my boom arm to record videos before I got this camera, but now it's just my secondary camera. But I've used it in this video to get shots of the camera and it works pretty well. The best camera is the camera you have right now. If you want to do anything online, you don't need to wait till you have the equipment. Just start with what you have now. It's more than good enough as long as the content is good. The camera is just on an old tripod I had laying around the house. It's plugged in via mini HDMI to HDMI cable that goes into the cheapest capture card I could find on Amazon. The capture card was around £5 and the cable was around £7. And for that price, the £5 capture card works really well so far. Along with all these things that actually help me do work, I normally also just have pictures of my friends around or above my setup. But right now, because of pandemic, all those pictures are above where my uni setup used to be in my uni room. And I thought I was only going away for a couple of weeks, but now I'm stuck in London, which isn't really the worst thing, but it is what it is. The PC combined with this microphone setup combined with my tripod and video setup allows me to stream, record videos, do uni work with this little section off on the side if I just need to write things down, and lots of little things in the setup could be better, but also I could afford all of these things, which is equally important because computer parts especially are more expensive than they have been in a very long time because everyone's working from home, everyone needs a PC or a new laptop. So this is more than good enough for me right now, and yeah, I'm just happy with everything. Hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, I guess I'll see you next week. Okay, bye now.